Each year, scientists, researchers, and everyday people make incredible discoveries, helping us to better understand the world around us. So today, here at Unexplained Mysteries, we'll be taking a look at interesting discoveries. Scientists are pretty sure they found a portal to the fifth dimension. Scientists believe they may have found more clues to a possible fifth dimension, which helps in trying to find an explanation for dark matter. Dark matter is hard to detect, as it doesn't emit any visible light or energy. Scientists are adamant that this unseen force is a dominant ingredient that makes up the universe. The supposed fifth dimension is currently understood as a dimension where gravity and electromagnetism combine. This new discovery may not turn out to be as exciting as it might seem at first, but scientists believe it will help us to better understand and observe dark matter in the near future, as well as its impact on the universe. Even though dark matter makes up 75% of matter, it has never been observed. Recent reports suggest that scientists are trying to find dark matter by expanding on the theory of a warped extra dimension, which was first stated in 1999. This new research builds on the idea that Fermion masses could be entering a fifth dimension using portals, which in turn is creating dark matter. This new research could be a giant leap forward in our understanding of some of the universe's greatest mysteries, which so far have only been for sci-fi and fantasy writers to speculate. Michio Kaku predicts alien contact. Michio Kaku has gained a reputation as a renowned physicist and futurist. Having written numerous books on scientific topics, gained popularity as a presenter, and achieved recognition as the co-founder of string field theory, he is well regarded as an authority in the field of science. Michio made headlines when he claimed that humans would encounter alien life forms within this century. Michio stated, "I think we will pick up a signal from an intelligent civilization in outer space in this century. However, that doesn't mean we'll have a two-way conversation. They could be many hundreds of light years away, so it would take hundreds of years for a conversation to take place. But when that takes place, when we do eavesdrop on an intelligent civilization in outer space, that could be a turning point in the history of civilization on Earth." He claims that life throughout the Milky Way is inevitable, adding that when we look out into the night sky, we must realize that someone could be looking back, also wondering if other life forms may exist in our solar system. Michio also claims that we won't just find any signs of life, but also intelligent life. Our galaxy is potentially packed with billions of Earth-like planets that could host a variety of different life forms. Although the actual number of exoplanets far exceeds the 4,000 that have already been recorded and verified, the number of Earth-like planets in our galaxy is estimated to be around 6 billion. Michio explains that when we do encounter life on other planets, we would first need to determine what category of species they are, breaking them down into 3 types: Type 1, Type 2, and Type 3 civilizations. A Type 1 civilization would be roughly 100 years more advanced than our current state on Earth. A Type 2 civilization would be stellar and would be a few thousand years ahead of us. A Type 3 civilization would be over 100,000 years more advanced, be able to control black holes, and roam space at will. Kaku highlights the dangers we face when encountering other life forms, as we are Type 0. After intercepting otherworldly messages, he claims we would need to identify the type of civilization they are and the threat they pose. Though Michio thinks that for the most part they will leave us be, as there's no need to plunder our planet for resources, but they will no doubt be curious. Archaeologists find a vast network of Amazon villages laid out like the cosmos. This jungle discovery was the result of a new archaeological project that focused on learning more about the pre-Columbian Amazon. Over the last 20 years, research has uncovered that the southern rim of the rainforest was home to a culture of soil sculptors that were able to engineer entire landscapes around their villages long before the Europeans arrived with such knowledge. It is only in the last 10 years that scientists have been able to find remnants of these complex designs, called mound villages, which are shaped as rectangles or circles and connected by intricate networks of roads. While these mound villages have been found and documented in other parts of the country, archaeologists had never sought them out in the Brazilian state of Acre. This prompted an international group of researchers to join forces and perform a complete survey of the area using LiDAR technology. Before this technology, researchers would have needed to rely on deforestation or hacking their way through the rainforest to reveal any ancient secrets. But with LiDAR, billions of pulsed lasers are shot toward a designated section of land from a helicopter only to bounce back toward the sensor, providing the precise measurements needed to recreate 3D maps and models of the area. The resulting data from their flight over Acre revealed 36 of these mound villages, 25 circular and 11 rectangular, dating from the 1300s to the 1700s. The circular villages each had similar layouts, featuring elongated mounds circling the plaza at the center of the city, making them resemble the face of a clock. From above, the mounds circling the villages looked like the rays of the sun. Each village was about 3 miles apart, but connected to one another, creating a vast network through the rainforest. Archaeologists speculate that these cultures may have been inspired by the stars when they created their communities. The village networks are designed in such a consistent and distinctive way that researchers believe they were arranged in a pattern that reflects the Native Americans' understanding of the cosmos. Largest megaripples on Earth from dinosaur asteroid found under Louisiana. Louisiana is known as a land of urban myths and mysterious happenings, but underneath Louisiana lies the largest ever megaripples ever found on Earth. These megaripples are 16 meters in length, which is equivalent to a 5-story building. They stretch 5,000 feet in width. The megaripples lie right underneath the Lat Lake and its near vicinity. Their geology implies that they formed directly after the extinction of the dinosaurs when the meteor that took them out hit the surface of our green planet. Data analysis revealed that these megaripples date back to the Cretaceous period of the Earth over 65 million years ago. Back then, the entire area had still been underwater. As for how the ripples formed, when the Chicxulub asteroid that destroyed the dinosaurs crashed into the Yucatan Peninsula, it caused a huge tsunami that formed the megaripples on the sea floor. Gary Kinsland, a professor at the University of Louisiana, stated, "The occurrence of ripples of that size means something very big had to disturb the water column. This is just further evidence that the Chicxulub impact ended the Cretaceous period." Devon Energy, an energy corporation, took 3D seismic surveys of the lake's area and found the megaripples on the lake floor. The surveys were done using surface detectors that capture sound waves that are reflected by the underground rocks and their layers. It is these sound waves that allow scientists to map out the specific geology of the bottom of the lake. Kinsland knew after seeing the ripples in the data that they had to have been caused by the Chicxulub meteor. "I immediately saw the ripples, and I immediately knew the direction the water would have had to have been traveling in to create them. And I knew that if you go backwards from that, you run right in Chicxulub." As a result, he could use the data to figure out the exact direction that the Chicxulub tsunami went and determined it was facing south-southeast, pointing back to the Chicxulub crater, solidifying his belief that the meteorite and megaripples are connected occurrences. The wavelength of the ripples was estimated to have been about 1,968 feet. Alongside their width and amplitude, this makes them the largest megaripples on Earth found thus far, dating back 65 or 66 million years. These megaripples were trapped, so to speak, underwater after the tsunami washed across the entire Gulf of Mexico and Louisiana, and were so deeply hidden under the waves that when violent storms overwhelmed the Gulf of Mexico, the ripples were safe and undisturbed for millions of years. As time passed, the ripples were covered by shale, a sedimentary type of rock that protected the megaripples from being disturbed until we found them. shale is composed of primarily mud and clay with fragments of various minerals. The shale formed throughout a period of 5 million years after the catastrophe, or about 56 million years ago. The shale itself was then covered by other kinds of sediments that built up through the epochs. Medieval sword contains cryptic code. In 1825, a mysterious sword was unearthed in River Witham in England that dated back to the 13th century. It now holds its place in the British Library, and it is displayed as part of an exhibition on the Magna Carta. However, an air of mystery still looms above the sword. What made and still makes the sword mysterious to this day is not the sword itself, but rather the 18-lettered inscription along the blade. Although appearing as what seems to be, or at least resemble, English lettering, the sequence of the letters has left cryptographers, linguists, historians, archaeologists, scholars, and more simply baffled and estranged by what the lettering symbolizes and means. There has been some allusion made that it incorporates both a mixture of Latin and Greek, but nothing is exactly certain. There has also been a big question of where the sword originates from. There has been some debate of the sword having ties to the Vikings due to the nature of the fullers and pommel on the sword. A fuller is a term used in sword artistry and manufacturing that describes the grooves or indentations along the blade, whereas a pommel is the sword's hilt where one carries the sword by. The fact that the sword has not one, but two fullers or grooves is what led to considerations of Viking origin. However, ultimately, the debate was evened out that the similarities to medieval European swords outweighed those of Viking swords. The pommel or hilt is shaped like a cross, which historians have gathered that must symbolize Christianity and thus may have been used as a means for defending and upholding the sanctity of the church. Some have also cued that perhaps the first three letters of the sequence, NDX, are an abbreviation that translates to a Latin phrasing, Nostrum Dominus Christ, where Nostrum Dominus translates to Our Lord. Others have strayed from hypothesizing a religious meaning and have instead opted for a more secular opinion, citing that perhaps the message inlaid on the blade is some sort of battle cry, which would make perfect sense since swords were commonly used as battle weapons in that time era, so a message like that along the blade would certainly be befitting in that sense. But there also exists another opinion, this one perhaps being the most unsatisfying and maybe even disappointing opinion of all. It is predicted that the message may have no meaning, which would explain the trouble of trying to decipher the text. But what do you make of these new discoveries? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comment section below and help us by growing this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.